Sports.
Got a two for Liverpool, and the champions are ahead for the first time in this game. Seconds earlier, he dropped a clanger, and this time he's wiped the slate clean.
That's what we do. We are 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Dailies today.
Dailies today.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Fantastic morning to you. Welcome to Dailies Today, Part 2. My name is Wemimo Adewuni. I'm here with Jimi Disu today.
Yeah, morning, and it's nice to see these yellow puppies back.
Back. You missed them like that.
I miss them, yeah. You know that colors inspire you.
All right.
You know, the first time I walked into this station, I must tell you that I felt so happy. Everywhere was nice and bright. So when I didn't see this yellow bobby yesterday.
Hey,
so
yellow bobby,
whoever brought it back, thank you very much.
His name is Olu. Okay. Shout out. Okay. Colors make you bubble, and yellow is really bright and
Yellow
beautiful.
is bright, yes.
And it's one of our colors. That's amazing. Welcome, guys. We're doing this live on Facebook right now, so you can watch us. Head over to Facebook, search for Nigeria Info 99.3. You can also find us on YouTube, Nigeria Info 99.3. Leave us a comment on the headlines as we run through them. You can also join us on Twitter. Remember to use the hashtag Nigeria Info MCF. Again, the Nigeria has no N at the end. It's not Nigerian. It's Nigeria as a country. Info MCF. You can tweet at Nigeria Info FM there on Twitter. Let's start with the biggest sports story across the globe today, and that's Diego Maradona, who died at 60.
Yeah, you know, it was very sad and a bit of shocking news, you know, to hear of the death of Maradona yesterday. One second, please. I need to take this because I'm going to refer to it. Thank you. He died at the age of 60, and the Punch reports, indeed the Daily Mail of the UK reports that he just said, "Look, I feel sick," and next thing he had a heart attack and died. I'm not a football expert, you know, and that's why at 9 o'clock I'm going to bring Deji Omotoyinbo to do a thorough analysis of Maradona. But anybody who has a fair idea of what football is must have heard of two names. Must have heard of Maradona and must have heard of Pelé. And between the two of them, I don't know who I would say is the greatest. In fact, Hillary in the newsroom was just telling me yesterday that I should add Messi, and I said no, it's not just about being a good footballer, it's all rounded. Look at Muhammad Ali, was not necessarily
the best boxer.
Yes. But there's a story here in the Daily Mail that calls our attention, and it says drugs, obesity, women, the mafia. Maradona was a genius on the pitch, but his life outside was a slow motion car crash that would destroy him. And I think there are a lot of lessons to learn from that, especially for our get-rich-quick friends who once you know, the success is the most difficult thing to handle. When failure is the easiest because you sit down quietly. You know,
have time to think about
you
life.
either think or just wallow in sorrow. But success can run you riot, and that's exactly what happened to Maradona. His life was very tumultuous. He was into drugs, he went into everything. Alcohol, women, he was obese, and so on and so forth. But you can't take from him the fact that he was a great man as far as football is concerned. The lesson again for Nigerians one more time is, when you die, what will people say about you?
What would they remember?
What will they remember?
Of your life?
What would they be telling your children and your grandchildren? When Maradona is, the best that can happen to Maradona is for him to be buried in an Argentinian jersey. You don't take those jerseys it's going to rot in the ground there. He's not going to go with any World Cup. He's not going to go with anything.
Yeah.
Put everything you like in the casket. He's not going anywhere with it.
Yeah.
And that is the mindset that we should have, that most of us don't have. We want to acquire everything under the sun. For what?
To what end?
To what end? I've heard people boast. I had somebody was supposed to, say something like, well, he has a company and something was going on. And he said to his workers, well, if you guys like, you can destroy the company. I've taken care of my children. All what my children and great-grandchildren will eat are provided for. That's the most ignorant statement any human being can ever make. Where are the rich men of yesterday? Where is Moshood Abiola's money? Let's talk. Let's have a discussion.
Money has got wings.
That's apart from that, money is a spirit. The things that God gives us in life, not the things that we grab, the things that God gives us in life, talent and whatever, it has to be handled with a lot of responsibility. And this we must learn. May Maradona rest in peace. We are going to have a full 1 hour with the Jamoto Ibo, and so we'll be able to do a bit more analysis on that. But for now, he's so... Did you know Maradona, by the way?
Of course I did. And I love Pele's tribute. Mama Wobo. I grew up with boys. Maradona, I love Pele's tribute to him, saying that he hopes that they'll play football in the skies. I love that.
I love it, and I laughed and chuckled over it to say that the things of the world are left in the world.
They are, but just the imagery,
I know. But no, I looked at it beyond, what he said.
Yeah.
And I said, the things of the world are left in the world. If you think that you're a knight of, say, Mulumba, or you're a knight, or you're the biggest chief forever, when you die, when you enter 6 feet to go to heaven, there are no chiefs, there are no whatever.
Well, some people think that there's an afterlife, and
I believe
continue.
Very strongly that afterlife will be devoid of titles and all other paraphernalia.
We can spend a whole show debating that.
Do you believe in life after death?
You want us to start at this time?
No,
we'll spend the whole daily.
I believe in it because when I die, I still want to see what's going on. I want to pepper some people.
Hey!
Okay, let's
All right,
go.
let's move away from the philosophical thoughts about life that we opened the show with and talk about this bigger story in the Vanguard newspaper. NSAS, COVID unveils 100 billion naira lifeline for police to renovate 44 police stations affected by protests, unveils 175 billion naira skills acquisition scheme for 4 million youth. Low interest rate loans for affected business received. I mean, it's on and on and on. They're doing.
Yes.
They want to do a lot for Nigeria.
You need to read the papers to get the full details.
Yes.
In fact, to be honest with you, to confess, I almost missed this story this morning. What worries me about the 100 billion naira lifeline for the police is that the police, I'm sorry to say, I don't know whether it's the ministry or the force of the governing council or whatever they are called.
Police Service Commission.
Police Service Commission, they have a history. They have a history, and I repeat the third time, they have a history of always creating questions that one would ask as to what happens to funds. I remember there was a gentleman who claimed he was raising, one of Obasanjo's cousins, claimed his in-laws rather, he was raising money for the police. The police have always been, funds attributed to the police have never, you can't visibly see to what good use they have been put to.
Except in Lagos, where there's the Lagos State Security Trust Fund. Because I followed the money. I looked at their budgets and what they did in 2019. I made an infographics I shared online. And you could see, I mean, there was a full audit of their account. But what the Lagos State Trust Fund, Security Trust Fund did was to provide the things they needed, not give them the money. Buy the vehicles, provide the fuel,
but
don't give them the funds.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe that's what COVID would also learn from and also do.
You have a valid point there. But for how long are we going to be doing things like that? For how long? We must instill discipline amongst our people. For how long? If it could be done in the Navy, if it could be done in the Army and their whatever are treated like human beings or whatever, why should the police be an exception?
Yeah.
Every time you talk about police, what comes to my mind is what I saw, the video that we saw some years back during Jonathan's tenure, where about 8 people were sharing one bonga fish, and things like that. I hope it will be put to good use. What also needs to happen is that I think the junior officers themselves need to keep an eye on what's going on and raise an alarm. Don't just sit back and say, make a wait when they promote me, then my own time will come.
To take my own share.
To take my own share. It might never come. I hope the government will put a premium on accountability. What you said about the Lagos State Trust Fund, 2 things should come to mind. One is that the Lagos State Trust Fund, even though it's run by Lagos State, is private sector driven.
It is. And that's COVID is also private sector. So I'm imagining that they're taking a cue from
from the
from the Lagos, how it's run. There's a full board of directors. There's a full audit team. There's a full. I mean, everything is public disclosure. I got the documents online, so I'm hoping that they're taking a cue from
that.
I mean, we can see the RRS, and we're proud of them. I mean, they even call themselves the good guys in Lagos. They're the guys that your car breaks down, they come to help you. That's the Lagos State Police, RRS. RRS.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm hoping that we can see that replicated.
You know why it is like that now. You know the surname of the person heading it. We are known for that. Let me.
I face front.
Good morning to Disu, in case you are listening.
Have you?
Please, it's just I'm just joking. It's just a case.
Tell us what's the link, by the way.
All all human beings are the same on the face of the earth. But I've never met him.
Wow.
I've spoken to him a few times, but I've never actually met him. But I'm very, very and extremely proud of him.
Yeah.
So that even if he's not my family, I recruit him into the family.
Yes. You are hereby.
Yeah.
This is our naming ceremony.
No, I mean, because he does do that. This is surname does us a lot of good.
Yeah. Pride. Right, let's see this one. Remember the court issues about Jimi? Well, it's still here. Court orders rep to produce Maina's fleeing son within 9 days. Jimi's bail request for hearing today. Would know at the end of today if he gets a bail. Lawyer dumps Maina, applies to quit trial. Hey.
You know, this is the worst thing that can happen to any reasonable human being. And it's sad that it's happening, it's happening right in our own lifetime. And it just shows how far down we have gone when it comes to things of this nature. I am praying that it never happens, that I'll be charged for a crime with either my sons or my daughters. Two of you, if you say it in Yoruba, it looks even more whatever. Two of you put your hands behind your back facing a judge. And now the two of them
saying Rojo.
Sounds heavier. In the days of old, the family would have given one of them a calabash. Yes, to go to the great beyond. Because look, first of all, the two of you escaped. The two of you were caught. The two of you were granted bail. And now the two of you are being accused of jumping bail. And I said to myself, where are values? What are the things? If father and son are doing this, means father has passed this thing over to the son to continue along that same line, then where are we going in this country? I pray that all of you should, listen, but after this, take 1 minute off and pray that never should you find yourself in a position where you'll be facing trial with your own son or daughter, I felt when I saw, I felt so pained that how could this country have gone down to the dogs up to that point? And then so what happened? The two of them scurried away. Did they go through the same border or the?
I mean, there must have been a conversation around it.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they're putting some other people on the line. I mean, if you jump bail, someone stood bail for you, that person's got to have to answer for you.
And this was somebody who was in public office. I don't understand this.
Let me take some comments off Facebook before we go on. We have quite a number of them. Okay, so many people saying hi. Prince Sunnyside, Amos Duru, thank you. Peter Odibra, Okpa Ezra, thank you. Maker Godwill says Maradona was the most chosen name during our street football after Okocha. That's true. When you're very good at football, they hail you as being Maradona. Richard Obigwe says, Jimi, I see you. Busola Ande, his life was just like of Mike Tyson, unable to handle success. Okpa Ezra says the world has lost a football superhero. Ifi Black Namani, Jimi, Disu, Messi and Ronaldo are the best of all time. Even Pele and Maradona can't meet their records. Okay, argue that with Femi and the gang, okay? Alexandra.
No, but listen, when you talk about, let me quickly say, when you talk about the greatest, it's not in terms of numbers of goals scored or punches, whatever. When Muhammad Ali was called the greatest, it also had to do with his charisma, his activities outside the ring. It's all encompassing.
Oh, and he's got charisma. He had my charisma.
Who's that? Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah,
I always remember.
Because the man fine.
No, not be fine though. For me, it was a poetry.
But he fine.
He fine. I don't never even look and read that side though.
Meet that man.
No, but it's fine. But really, I appreciate fine people.
Well, I know now. This man.
Hey, okay, fine. Fine. But for me, what got me was the poetry. It was how he used words, even when the opponent was looking big.
Everything about Muhammad Ali was a delight to
It
look
was a
at.
delight.
Yes.
It's like listening to Obama. I mean, it thrills you with words. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, great.
Can you tell me one Nigerian leader that thrills you like that? In your lifetime?
If we can categorize Fela Durotoye as a leader, I mean, he ran for
No. I
office.
mean, one of those
These ones.
are leaders. Yes, I'm not talking of. We have enough individuals who can inspire you. You have Wale Senga, Fela Kuti,
Yeah.
but one of our leaders. Can you tell me one?
No, I can't.
So
Okay, let me think about it. But off my head, no, I can't.
I can only think of people like Zik, Tafawa Balewa, Zik Awolowo. You know, people.
I think those were times when they thought that it was important to communicate to people and impress them that they want. Now, who cares about impressing you?
These were well-grounded people. I mean, Zik had a doctorate. I think he went to either Harvard or Howard. I can't remember which one. Awolowo was a brilliant lawyer. You know, Tafawa Balewa was a brilliant administrator. If you Google his address to the U.S. Parliament, Nigeria had brains. But nowadays, I don't know.
I just think they don't bother about impressing us now. Not because they.
You
Some
can
of them
only-
utterly
you-
can. Some
you-
of them can,
you
but they don't care.
You can only give what you have. You know?
Oh, no lies about that. No
can
lies.
only give
No.
what
If
you
you've
have.
got it, you give it. Okay, someone comes to. You've not put me in trouble. This microphone. All right, the Punch newspaper, guys. 15 months border closure. Manufacturers fault federal government committee report ready for Buhari. So it was two-sided on the show earlier today. Some people were happy. Some people were like, if you like, don't open. So
Those who say
What
if
do you guys want?
Those who say if you like, don't open, don't know the damage that has been done. Look, every country, every society, every group has its own peculiarities. Nigeria will not be an exception. You cannot take other countries' models and impose them on Nigeria and think that it's going to work. I'm not an economist. When I see a lot of these economists bringing all kinds of economic theories they've gotten from World Bank and IMF, I just say to them, you need to know the environment in which you live in. It's like in our society, street trading is part of our culture.
it is.
So rather than chase people around, why don't you manage it? You know, the same thing applies. There's a lot of cross-border trading between us and Benin and Ghana and so. And once you break the link, the whole region is affected. And but there's one thing. This committee that was supposed to advise the president, according to this story, met for 1 whole year.
1 year.
Yes. 1 year.
The border closure is 15 months. So they started their meeting
Look,
3 months into the closure.
Let me, in an interview, said the committee will soon submit a report. It's also the manner that neighboring set up a ministerial committee consisting of this, but more than a year after it was set up. I'm reading from the Punch.
Wow.
The committee was yet to submit its report to the president.
So 3 months into when we close the borders, they set up this
Set up
committee.
a committee.
We're having a report 1
First
year
of all,
after.
you first of all close the border before setting up the committee to decide whether to close the border.
Wow.
Then now, according to the Punch, more than a year after it was set up, the committee was yet to submit its report to the president. And we don't have it written here whether the president asked for that report. You see, we are so ceremonial in the things that we do. I keep saying it, things that are simple that take, look, a committee 2 weeks, come up with whatever it is, take submissions from the various chambers of commerce and interest groups, and let's make up our minds on what to do. 1 year. And now they have said that they want to open the borders. They are yet to submit the report. So the president will not feel obliged to open the borders until the committee submits the report. And we are all bogged down by bureaucracy and suffering for it.
Let me take some comments off Facebook. Olubumi Fadikwe Kolawole says, Madam Wemimo, I think Fasholao, he's good too. IC Daniel says Ojuku, when we're talking about those who have oratory skills. Iroko Pai says, the hand of God has come to take the god of soccer. Okay. Gibson says, Senator Enyinaya Abaribe may have such oratory powers. Uche Okafor says, Dino Melaye, and that's the person I wanted to mention.
I'm not in the mood for any nonsense joke this morning. People should.
Deji Oakland says our culture is gone. That is one of the pillars of morals. What can we do? Okay. Let's go quickly to Twitter and take some comments. Remember to use the hashtag Nigeria Info MCF. Nigeria Info MCF. Let me see if I can take some of your thoughts.
Okay, what's the thing that there's a correction here from Mr. Falabi.
Okay.
Mr. Falabi, and I thank her for it. Zeke went to Lincoln University, Missouri. So I stand corrected on that. Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you. Adeyemi Adepoju says, Uncle Jimmy, Maina has a bank account. Why can't the government just withdraw the money from his account? It's not always that straightforward. There has to be a court order.
It
You can't just
work like that.
it doesn't work like
And,
that.
and besides, if you were Maina and you're accused of having chopped all that money, you will not leave your money in the bank account.
In Nigeria,
But
all of that money. Samson Olubody says there is no life after death. He's quoting a scripture from Ecclesiastes 9:10 says, whatever your hands find to do, do it with all your might. But there's no work, no planning, no knowledge, no wisdom in the grave where you're going. I think it refers to Pella saying they might play ball in the skies. Okay.
Well, I believe there is life after death. I mean, I don't want to leave this world. After I've left physically, I want to still see what's going on. Or else where would I be? Or else where would I be?
Where the others are.
No.
We don't know where they are. Some say they're back in the world someplace. We don't know.
The only good thing is that if in the other side at least Anukulako could be there.
Vibes.
Shaking my darling.
Our values are not the same. Responding to Jimi Disu's views on Maina and his son jumping bill. Yinka D. On police money, let's put pressure on the president to remove the CID from hands of police IG. Let an Idiagmo court or kind of Ribadu type to man the CID in 3 months, just like the war on Kidede.
But it is sad that rather than thinking of systems to correct this, we now have to look for individuals.
Yeah, right.
Which is not the best way to
We
go.
need those structures, those
we need
institutions.
structures that we will insist must work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rather than say, okay, go and call this man because it appears as if he's more honest.
And when he's gone, what happens?
What happens?
Right. Let's see this story from the Punch newspaper. 2023, Igbo must negotiate with the North, says Akore Madu. Summarily, he's saying that the Southeast geopolitical zone could realize its quest for producing the Nigerian president if it's negotiated with Northern Nigeria.
At sight, this headline looks condescending. At sight, in fact, my first reaction was anger. That why must they negotiate? Did others negotiate with them? That was my first reaction at sight. But after deep thought, I said to myself, politics is about negotiation.
Yes.
Okay? Politics is about... So, the Ekwemere Mandu, to be honest with you, is stating the obvious. But I am in full support that if we want to heal this country fully, we must give the Southeast we should give the Southeast a chance to produce the next... After that, everything else can be merit-based because it would have then gone round. You've had a northern president, you've had a middle belt. I think I had the middle belt president. Yeah, Jos. Okay, fine. You've had a northern president. You've had Shagari. You've had the Yoruba president twice. You've had the South president, and therefore I think it stands to reason for full healing for you to produce a president from the Southeast. Are you saying that in the whole of the Southeast you can't find somebody who can be president? I know some people have their sentiments about the Southeast. That's their personal whatever. I think equity and fairness demands that, but again, the Southeast itself must be prepared. It's not going to be handed over to you like some people will say a la carte. It's not something that's going to be served on some white tablecloth table. You have to go get it. And the Ekweremandu, in stating the obvious, is also saying that I think what he's trying to do is to quell those who are agitating and saying that it must be us or nothing. Politics doesn't work like that. It's about negotiation. Democracy is about the highest numbers. It's a game of numbers.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a game of numbers, and there are so many people, Mweke, Frank Mweke, so many, that I can think of that would make.
I personally share those sentiments myself.
Yes.
But what I've realized, and we talked about this some days ago when we had that story about the Igbo group not being able to decide on the president general, is having the Southeast having one voice, the discordant tunes within that geopolitical zone does not help.
But nobody has what. Do the Yorubas have one voice? Do you know you have close to 50 various organizations? You have Afenifere, you have Yoruba Elders Council, you have this. Yorubas who don't have one voice. So I don't believe the issue is one voice. I just think that, you see, you must play politics. At the back end, you must be very strategic.
Absolutely. Strategy.
Go and read The Godfather and read it thoroughly, and you get some tactics. At the back end, outside the politics, you got. Even I think it was in Things Fall Apart or so. Either Things Fall Apart or Arrow of God, where the gentleman he took one of his sons to work with the high priest. He took the other one to church so that anyone, you understand. So they can't speak with one voice. That doesn't really happen. Even the North doesn't speak with one.
You're right on that
one voice. I mean, so, but the Igbos have been seriously stigmatized.
Agreed.
And it is almost stuck on them. They've been stigmatized, and I think it's very unfortunate. It's very unfair. You can't judge. You can't paint everyone with one brush. And I still maintain that for fairness and equity, and for us to have peace and for healing, it would be nice if you had. Therefore, I don't know. I'm sorry to say this, but these are my people. I don't know where the demand of the Southwest is coming from for the presidency. Yorubas are known for fairness. You've had 2 terms in this small equation. You've had 2 terms of Yoruba presidency, another 2 of Yoruba vice presidency, and therefore, to be honest with you, it's difficult for me to come and say something to the effect that the next president should come from the Southwest. We are known for fairness and equity, and I think
the thing though is most of these decisions, like you said, is strategy, and again they happen at the political party levels. I mean, so it's the parties that's where a lot of the politicking will need to happen, because it's a candidate you put forward that people can vote for.
But you see, there's always a back end.
There is
in any country. There's always at the back end is across parties. Okay. We don't have much of that culture. Those at the back end, unfortunately, of some of these various whatever that I can recognize, most of them are there for themselves and their children and their immediate family only. That's all they think of. I'd like a system that says that has a group of 50 men across all the parties who have lunch every Thursday and would be telling somebody like, okay, Philip, your son, let him go to the civil service. We're going to need him as a permanent secretary in future. Let us train him properly. Things like that. But it's always, what do you find in the political field here? It's always about their children. Their wives would contest. Their children will contest. Their children would be given positions and this and that. And it's sad. But I think we'll learn over time.
I hope so. We're running out of time. We need to go soon, but let me take a few of your comments. Mr. Daniel on WhatsApp says, Wemimo, can someone please explain to Nigerians why the border in the north is open to business and that of the south, west and other borders are closed? Well,
not only can I not explain it, I cannot rationalize it.
Arguably, they tell us that the borders are shut, but like I mentioned in the morning, it was a lawmaker from Daura that mentioned that he went home and saw that the border was open and there was...
Because cross-border trade in Africa is inevitable.
It is.
It's inevitable.
It's how we do things. Let me take a final one. Can you ask your Jimi Disu, why the government, or maybe you mean Mr. Jimi Disu, why the government is now trying to reach the UK government? Oh, we're running out of time. I think he didn't understand the power of petition. Let's hear what he'd have to say. Okay, but we do need to go right now because we're out on a break. This has been the Dailies today. After the break, we're back on the hour at 8 with the news. After that, we're talking violence against women, and you are going to tell me how we can end violence against women. You are my advisor on the show this morning. Thank you for coming in.
Okay, well,
it's back here at 9, by the way, on Daily Digest. So
yes, the Giamoto involved.
Yeah, giving a tribute to Maradona. It's going to be a great one. Join us again.